What's up, Brewers listeners? I am here with my... What's a good adjective for today? Don't. I want to come up with a good one. Stupendous.
We've definitely done it a few times, but I like it still.
Stupendous. It's the most stupendous podcast we're ever going to do.
Ever.
Because it's the last... I'm retiring the word stupendous after this episode. So this is the most stupendous podcast. So my stupendous co-host, Erica, and sound guy, Ryan.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hi. Hey. We're in Nashua, New Hampshire.
We are.
I like Nashua.
Yeah. We haven't been here before.
Well, I've been here before. I come here almost weekly.
Yeah, well, same.
I have someone special in my life that lives in Nashua. Yeah, so...
Your great aunt? Twice removed?
Yeah, my great aunt. Hey, Aunt Millie, what's up? Yeah, she's wonderful. She's twice removed for the right reasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're TikTok famous now.
Yeah, that was
We're trending.
That was fun.
We got trending on TikTok for the right reason.
Yeah.
We shared a video. I think it's at like 150,000 views.
It's ridiculous. I don't even understand how anything.
And we can go live on it. So another avenue for 4 people to watch me drink a beer. Sadly, in my bedroom.
Yeah. Watch you chug a beer.
Yeah.
Take a big gulp.
Yeah. Oh man, we almost got in trouble for chugging a beer. What's your we're here at Martha's Exchange, and we're going to get into that episode. But
yeah,
what's your definition of chugging a beer? Is it like start to finish? Is that a chug, or is a big glug a chug?
Yeah, well, chugging a beer is usually start to finish, in my opinion.
Yeah, Matt's the only one who thinks it's not.
Yep. I'm going with Ryan with those two.
I got called
Sorry.
out. I took a big slug of a beer, and someone was like, "That's not a chug," and made a creepy video. But
it's a slug. It's not a chug. There you go.
See, it is pretty much exactly what I said.
Yeah.
A big gulp is a big gulp. A chug is a chug.
Yeah.
Okay,
My words.
minutia. We're here for the real. We're here for the real stuff. So we're here with Greg.
Hello.
You're the head brewer at Martha's Exchange.
Yes.
Well, that's a pretty cool title.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been in the industry for?
I have been here 20 plus years.
My gosh.
Yeah, September of 2001.
So did you start here, or did you cut your teeth somewhere else?
I learned at a brew on premise in a place in Nashua, in Credit Brew that used to do brew.
Oh yeah,
years
RIP.
and years.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was there for quite a bit of time.
Yep. I was there. I started that with the owner. I helped him run that place for 5 years, and then this job became available, and this is really more what I wanted to do, and here I am.
Yeah.
Very cool. So did you start bottom and work your way up, or did you come in as a brewer?
Nope. Came in as a brewer.
Awesome.
Yep.
Awesome.
Team of one for
Yeah.
a while, and
Never
got
looked
in.
back.
Yeah.
So in 2001, no such thing as a New England style IPA.
No.
No fruited sours. Lactose inspired fruited sours.
No kettle sours.
Yeah, no kettle sours.
Yeah, there you go, there you
Yeah,
go.
It was fruited lambics back then.
Yeah,
That was,
yeah.
which took forever to make. And
Yeah. What were the local drinkers of Nashua, New Hampshire drinking when Martha's Exchange opened?
Well, the draft list back then was, it was like the 90s brew pub scene. You had your golden ale, you had your red ale, your brown ale, your porter, your stout.
Sounds like a dream for us.
You had a
actually.
wheat.
Yeah.
And we had, pale ale or IPA. You had one or the other on
Yeah.
tap. That's kind of how it was.
And not too hoppy.
It was, the IBU wars of the early 2000s happened as I was getting into it. So I'm like, how much more you want me to put to bid of this beer?
How much?
Yeah.
How much?
So this was did this open in 2001, or
Nope.
can you give us like a little bit of the history?
Yeah, the owners of this place have been around in this spot for a long time. The current owner, who has been running Martha's for over 30 years, started his great aunt opened a candy shop, which we still have here. If you guys walked by it when you came in, and that was just this little sliver of space. And then the current owner's parents took over and turned it into a luncheonette for decades, in the 40s, 50s, 60s, through the 80s. And then they had 2 sons who took it over from them, expanded it out into a full-service restaurant in the late 80s. And then in 1993, they decided, hey, this micro brewing thing looked cool. And they said, let's put a brewery in. So they expanded out even farther and put the brewery in 1993. And we've been doing that since then. We're the second oldest brew pub in the state after the Portsmouth Brewery.
Wow. Nice.
And, the other big one up the road in Merrimack was here before that.
Now, you're one of the few to remain, because in the 90s and early 2000s, there was quite a big surge of brew pubs.
Yep.
Why is Martha still here today?
Good question. It's a lot of people say it's an iconic spot. It's been here for a long time.
It's an institution in Nashua.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have a great outside spot for the summer, which is huge. tables out on the sidewalk. That brings a lot of people in that time of year, and people just know that we're always been here, and we just try to provide them with good service, good food, good beer, you know.
Definitely.
You don't often hear of a brewer staying in place for 25 years. Usually they'll hop around, open their own brewery, or if they're smart enough, maybe get out of the industry. I say that with a joke. Yeah, but what keeps you here?
From the start, when I was interviewing, they said, you know, make what you want as long as you make us a variety of beer. So I was able to kind of figure out what I was doing because I didn't have a ton of experience in a professional brewing situation. And I was able to do that back then when we had, you know, when I got here, there was 12 or 13 breweries in the whole state. And so I was able to call people who had a lot more experience and knowledge than me and say, how do I make this better? How do I make this better? And
yeah. Who are you calling upon?
Back then, I was calling Todd Mott, who is now up at Tributary.
Oh, yeah.
I used to go see him on my off days and just talk and drink beer with him and learn stuff.
He's the man. Yeah.
He was amazing.
Yeah.
And I used to call Paul Davis, rest his soul. If you don't remember him, he used to work at the Lucknow Brewery in New Hampshire in the 90s, and then he was down in Connecticut. And then he moved to a small brewery up in Effingham for a couple of years. Then he finished up at Stark Brewing up in Manchester. He died last year of complications of other things.
Yeah.
It was not COVID.
Okay.
Luckily.
Yes.
But anyway, I learned a lot from him. I got to know him before I got this job because he was the one who called me and said this job was available when it came up. I'd been bugging him for a couple of years to hire me up at the Lucknow Brewery.
Yeah.
And he called me and said, hey, Martha's is looking for a brewer. You live down the road. Why don't you go talk to him? I've been here ever since.
Yeah.
It's a good story.
Yeah. How do you stay relevant? I mean, you've been brewing at the same place for so long. How do you come up with new beers to stay relevant in the industry?
That's a good question. If I look at the beer landscape right now, I don't know if I'm relevant. I feel like I'm the old dinosaur. I'm the old man yelling at the cloud. I feel like, you know. I just try to make beers I like, and even with the newer trends and styles that come out, I'll do my version of them that I want to do. Yeah. You know, kind of like the beer we're drinking.
Yeah, and this is the IPA you have on tap currently?
This is one of the, we got a couple IPAs. We try to cater to old school and new school a little bit. I'm not a massive fan of the new school as far as the sweeter IPAs, so I make those the way I want to drink them, which is kind of what I do with everything I make.
Yeah.
And this is, the beer we're drinking is kind of a bridge to that. We call it Old Dogs, New Tricks. Mm-hmm. And this is actually a collaboration we did with the Portsmouth Brewery on our 25th anniversary year.
Oh, awesome.
And being the two oldest in state, we got together with them, and the brewer at the time there said, let's make a beer with all Cascade in it. Old school.
Yeah,
nice.
that is old school.
And I said, okay, but let's do like the new hopping techniques that we're seeing out there. So we basically took an old style recipe, you know, older style where it's, you know, but took out all the bitterness overall, all Cascade hops, which is a new and trendy and fruity and whatever.
Yeah,
It's got its old flavor. And then we hopped it like a New England IPA. So it's all after the heat and just brings out all these neat flavors of Cascade that we didn't see 20 years ago because nobody was doing that.
Well, it's really good.
It's not super hazy either.
It's not supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's freshly tapped, and it actually will drop bright. I mean, our serving tanks are old English holding tanks, so it's made to clear out.
Yeah.
So.
Speaking of what your tanks are, are they ferment tanks that you have your tap lines on, or how do you?
We have serving tanks. Serving tanks in our walk-in cooler in the basement, and so we were able to gravity feed from our fermentation tanks up here.
Awesome.
Yep.
What's the system you're brewing on?
We're brewing on a DME 7-barrel system.
Okay.
And it's a single infusion mash setup and direct fire kettle.
So it gets hot in here, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are happy that we actually have the brewery sitting right in the restaurant because in the summer we get air conditioning where a lot of
nice.
don't.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with that system with the heat.
Yep.
Do you have any flagships, or is it something just you're brewing what you?
Yeah, no, we don't. We rotate. I do probably maybe 35 or so different recipes throughout a calendar year, approximately, and I rotate in stuff that I like and I keep doing. Like this beer we're drinking, I'll do once to twice a year, but I'll rotate in other IPAs. That's the whole, the new and what's different.
Yeah.
But even our customer base is a little bit older, I think, overall, and so it doesn't have to be something new every week, but it's, we haven't seen that beer in 6 months. Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was good.
Yeah.
Cool. And I'll come up with new stuff each year. We got a few things coming out the next week, actually, that we haven't done before, so it's neat.
Yeah, and seasonally as well, I assume.
Oh, I love brewing season.
Yeah.
Well, today, we actually brewed our Oktoberfest.
Oh,
Awesome.
get out! So you're gonna just
Awesome.
lager the hell out of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we double batch it, so we'll finish it up tomorrow. We have one 15-barrel tank, and all our serving tanks are 7 barrels, so we'll double batch it, and
Nice.
it just sits in that one 15-barrel fermenter all summer long. We keep it lagering.
Jeez.
Love it.
And it's fun for us as the brewers because we'll start, once it's, kind of got through its primary, secondary fermentation, just once a week.
You're ripping off the bright.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Once a week, we're
Awesome.
like, all right, let's see how it is. And we're like, no, not there yet. No. And we hit about July, and we're like, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is amazing. From one week to the next, you know when it hits. And
Oh, that's cool.
That's
then we
very
just wait
cool.
till September. We wait till after Labor Day. We're not putting out Oktoberfest in August.
Yeah.
We don't like to do the seasonal creep.
Every year it seems like the pumpkin beers we see at like
July.
I
Yeah,
know.
right.
Yeah. As soon as you see that shipyard, I'm like, what the
Yep.
fuck?
Why?
Yeah, we put our pumpkin beer on in October. Amazing. I know.
Yeah. What a
What?
concept.
We don't
What a
want this.
concept.
This is so crazy.
Do you feel as though you educate beer drinkers here in this area? I feel like it's a very blue collar, working class city. The macro reigns supreme. If you drive down this street, you see Budweiser signs.
Yeah, that we try. I mean, it's one customer at a time. I can't talk to everybody, but we try to train the staff pretty well, and that's hard too in this industry with rotation of staff. People, it's young people getting on with their lives, and they stay for a while. So the ones who stay, we try to teach them, and they're good beer ambassadors for us when they're here, and do the best we can.
Yeah.
So,
But you must have the people who come in and like, I only drink Coors Light. I only drink Bud Light.
oh yeah,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you have an offering for them, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we always have, that's the thing having the variety here. We always have I always call it the gateway beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for even then, it's gateway beer I want to drink. So right now we have a German Pilsner on, which is really just for selfish reasons for me and my assistant. We double batch that last fall, and we've had it on all winter.
Awesome.
And so we'll do that. We'll have a Kolschan usually.
Is that your shift beer? The pills?
Oh yeah, and at home too. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Do you can it all or no? It's just on tap, right?
We do canning.
Oh,
Yep.
awesome.
Yeah, we got a little October seamer.
Wow.
It's definitely labor intensive to get
Yes.
it going on, but we do. So people can buy, mixed 4-packs or 4-packs to go, whatever. And you go.
Awesome. Awesome.
Being around in the industry for as long as you've been, do you find yourself being kind of frustrated with the way beer's going, or do you like the trend that you've seen beer going?
I tried to. I might have been frustrated earlier, and as it's gone on, it's like for me to get over it. We're bringing more people who might not drink beer into the industry. What
were your early frustrations, I guess?
it's old school yelling, beer flavored beer. It's
Yeah,
the way I've
right.
always felt. But you're getting people who might not think they like beer trying things that technically aren't quite as much beer as they think they are, but maybe that'll someday their palates change.
Yeah.
That's why we talked about, IBU wars of hop, IPAs 15, 20 years
Right.
ago. Now the IPA is not bitter, and it's cloudy, and it's fruity and sweet, and it's different. And who knows what's going to
Yeah.
happen in another 10 years.
Right. I feel
So
a lot
times
of
change.
I feel a lot of us start in the industry with like the fruited sour or something that's easy drinking and like approachable, and then you kind of grow from there. So yeah, hopefully they start with something, but then they learn to appreciate the finer things.
I've seen all the differences, though. I've seen people come in and ask for like a Coors Light or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, or you know what? We don't carry any Anheuser-Busch products. Sorry, Anheuser-Busch people. But we've had people ask for like Bud Light. We haven't carried Bud Light since I've been here, which is good.
Oh, yeah.
And that was not my doing. That was the owner's doing. But they'll say they'll ask for, oh, we don't have that. We have our own beer on tap. And then they order like a stout. I'm like,
What?
Yeah.
how do
You want a
how do
Bud
go
Light, then
from
you go
there to
for a
there?
stout?
Yeah, I've seen it happen. I've seen it all
Okay.
happen. Yep.
Yeah. I
Sure.
I don't know if that's just like the stout is a familiar, like, oh, well, Guinness is a stout. Do you know what I'm saying? So like that's the next closest thing. I can see it, but then at the same time, it's just like, man, those are really like
Very different.
I want a tomato and I want a peach. It's like really. Yeah. All right. So I want to get into the New Hampshire beer scene because I think it's actually one of the more, prosperous beer scenes in the country right now. You guys are popping up different breweries every week, but we have a word from our sponsors. They keep the lights on. And I love to cue up the sponsor machine. So, sponsor machine, take it away, sound guy, right?
Did you know that your favorite Massachusetts breweries use hops from a local family-owned hop farm right here in Massachusetts?
Our friends over at 4 Star Farms are there for you whether you're a commercial brewery or a small batch home brewer.
Make sure to head over to their website today and get your hands on some of the best and freshest hops available locally. Cheers.
At our local homebrew shop, Beer and Wine Hobby, you can get everything you need to make beer, wine, cider, cheese, and more. Not sure where to start? They have knowledgeable staff there to help. Beer and Wine Hobby is family-owned and located in Danvers, Massachusetts. Visit their website, beer-wine.com, and use our promo code BREWROOTS for 10% off your online order today.
Shirts on Tap is the box subscription service for craft beer lovers. Each month, Shirts on Tap partners up with 7 different breweries from across the country and collaborates on a sweet custom shirt design. We've been teamed up with Shirts on Tap since the inception of the podcast and are proud to announce a new promo code for all of our listeners. To get your first shirt for $5 off, go to the link in our description below and use the promo code. And remember, drink better beer, wear better shirts. All right, so we were talking about how the New Hampshire beer industry is growing, and I think a big part of that is the New Hampshire Beer Week and events that are going on, because it brings more visibility to other breweries. What do you see your opinion on how the scene's growing? You were the second oldest brew pub in the state. Do you know what brewery number you were in the state?
2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we were 3 at the time because it was Anheuser-Busch was there since the 70s.
Yeah.
And then it was Portsmouth and us.
Holy cow, so number 3. Wow. Yeah. Now it's what do we get from
what do you
CJ?
guys at, like 150?
Yeah, something
Maybe
like
more
that.
than
Jeez, I don't even know if it's that high. Last I heard we were about 100, but it's probably more than that.
I thought it was
Maybe-
112.
Okay,
I think
it could be stretching it.
yeah. But
5
Did you-
years ago, I think it was like 38.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
amazing.
huge.
Yeah.
That's a huge jump.
I can't keep up.
Yeah, no, I know. Being one of those breweries that are right over the border, it's nice. You get that influx from Massachusetts. You get that influx from New Hampshire. But I feel like you guys are that local space people know to come to Martha's in Nashua. What are you doing for New Hampshire Beer Week?
This year we've got a couple of beers we're doing. One is I talked about Paul Davis as a mentor before, and we, along with about a half a dozen other breweries in the state, have brewed one of his favorite styles based on one of his recipes, is German Munich Helles, and we'll be coming out with that this week. Was that one, and then talking about all the breweries that opened. We were the only guy on the area for a long time, and now you can walk to 3 other breweries from here if you park in one space. And so we started a couple of years ago brewing with our neighbors down the street with Oddfellows down the road.
Oh, awesome.
And Liquid Therapy, and now right around the corner this place Tailspinner just opened about a month or so ago. So once a year for Craft Beer Week, we've been brewing collaboration beers.
Very cool.
So we're doing it'll be the 3rd or 4th year now, I think. And this year what we did was we all put a beer style into a hat that each of us would like to brew. We couldn't pick our own beer style.
Yeah.
So we picked somebody else's. So we
What did you put
That's
in?
a challenge.
I put in Schwarzbier. It was one of the idea was
love a good
brew
Schwarzbier.
something that you would like to brew. It doesn't have to do anything about making money or style, whatever.
Yeah.
So I put in a Schwarzbier, which Liquid Therapy brewed, and they'll have theirs on. I think theirs on any day now.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah.
Yep.
So
And then what did you get?
And then I got the brewer at Tailspinners. He put in Imperial Corn Lager, which is something I have never brewed, and I'm like, nice.
Is that even a
dynamite.
thing? I've
So
never
basically,
heard of it.
yeah,
That's cool though.
it's not a thing. That's I think the idea.
that's
So
like people barrel aging Oktoberfest.
Right,
Like that really
right.
a thing? It is now. Yeah.
So it basically, I just made like a pre-prohibition corn lager, and I just made it big.
That's awesome though.
Yeah.
What's it hitting at?
Very cool.
It's just under 9%.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
And yeah, we brewed it, sometime in February, and it's I transferred it today, and I'm going to start carbonated in the next day or so.
That's
it should
awesome.
be ready on Friday.
Is it still crushable?
It's pretty darn good. Yeah, it's super clean, and it's got
That's
that little
awesome.
bit of sweetness up top,
Yeah.
and then it's got this, German hop spice in the middle, and just finishes.
Very
for
cool.
more.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How do you approach beers that you've never brewed before, and especially with like these new styles that are coming out?
It's reading and research, and same thing, talking to other brewers who've done it before. Oh, you've made this beer. That's the cool part about the brewing community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere. You go to brewers events or talking about New Hampshire craft beer. I'm part of that New Hampshire Craft Brewers Association. You go to their meetings, and everybody brings beer, and you just talk shop.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, how'd you do this? And people are more than willing to tell you.
Yeah.
What's
Love
some-
that about the industry.
What's some of the best advice you've gotten?
Some of the best I got was, remember one of my early years, I talked to a brewer from Massachusetts who'd been doing it for a while, and I said, I'm still green, I'm still learning. He's like, learn the system you got in your brewery. Know the ins and outs of that thing, learn how it works, and just brew everything you can do as far as you can take that thing, take it. And that's what I took.
Have you been brewing on the same system for 25 years?
Yeah, it's the only system we ever had.
Yeah.
That was actually another little tidbit of history. That's the first system that DME, the brewing company, the company, ever sold in the U.S.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Now you had no part in choosing that.
No, I wasn't here for that.
Yeah.
That was before me.
Yeah.
If there's one thing about the brew house that you could change, what would it be?
I would see those tanks were before. I would like to have some of the chilling equipment on the tanks.
So they have
better.
the glycol built into it.
They have the glycol built in, but there's only one zone. I'll get technical and goofy on you and nerdy, but
Sure,
there's only
let's do
one
it.
zone on the top. So it cools from the top down. You get a little churning of the warm and cold, and it takes a little longer. And
Gotcha.
for beers you don't want hazy, get a little hazier. They just take a little more time. And racking arms, I don't have that. Just rack off the top of the hops, leave the hops at the bottom. I can't do that. I got to drop more out so I get more loss. Stuff like
So
that.
your
Gotcha.
efficiency's down a little bit. because-
Efficiency's down a little bit for that. And I could go on. There's a few other things. It's all, I can only do single step infusion mashing with that, and where I can't get as technical as I'd like.
So you would like to do decoction?
I would love to do decoction for lagers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I can't. So.
Right.
don't.
Okay.
So we've had brewers who swear by decoction, and then we have brewers who think it's a
fad.
fad. What's your opinion?
It's a fad. It's been around.
No, not a
Yeah,
fad.
no, but it's
We've
like
had, I think
a
the term
cliche
was,
or something.
Yeah, it's a sexy term to.
You know,
Yeah.
It's really not necessary anymore because it was made. It was a technique developed at the time when malts weren't
Great.
as well modified.
Yeah.
And so you had to modify them yourself, and that's what the German brewers did. They decocted it. And now you don't have to. But
A lot of people say it's a step because they did it.
Okay.
Right?
Well,
yeah.
I guess the way I look at it is the people over at Notch Brewing, if you know them.
Yeah, that's who
We
we're
know
referring
them.
to. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
If you ever had any of their beers, yeah, I think it works.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. Amazingly good stuff.
We
Yeah.
were there this weekend, so yeah, we get that.
Okay. I wish I lived a little closer. I'd
Yeah.
go there more often.
But
Yeah.
and same vein as like the folks up in Schilling, like they're decocting it.
Yep. They make great beer too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's okay. No, I'm just kidding. It's good. Yeah, it's just interesting, when someone who brings that up, it seems like the old school mentality is like it does make a difference.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is if I had the ability to do it and I did it, and if I didn't notice a big difference, maybe I wouldn't do it anymore. But again, that's you'd say, how do you stay relevant or
Right.
keep enjoying doing this? I've never been able to do it. I'd love to do it.
Yeah.
Just to see.
Is there room for expansion or changing, or would that just like blow
That is what
everything
it
up?
is.
Like the ecosystem here, like if you stop brewing here at the front of house of like.
Yeah, I don't think there's any room to go anywhere.
Yeah.
This place. Yep.
Yeah.
Every square inch of this place is filled
Used.
up. I mean, we don't even have a mill here. We're old. We don't have, can't mill our own grain.
Yeah. Get it pre-milled.
Yeah, and I've looked to where can we put a mill? Well, we can't put it here because then if we mill here, no, that's a boiler and we'll blow the place up. No.
Yeah, right.
It's just like, not
Well, because you
gonna
have to have like a specific room for milling. Has
Oh,
to be
yeah.
like
Yeah.
contained.
Right.
So no.
You mentioned collaborations. Do you like collabs?
I love doing it.
You do. Why?
Fun. I love seeing how another brewer thinks.
Okay.
And so I pick up things that I might not have done myself. I've done it forever. Yeah. And especially in their own breweries, and you go in their breweries and you see another brew system and oh, we should do
That's
something
nice.
like that. Or, so yeah.
Do you have a favorite collab?
This is one. I mean,
Yeah.
this was originally, but I can't think. I've done a bunch. I mean, our 25th anniversary year, I brewed. That was fun. I brewed with all the breweries from the 90s that were still in business.
That's
Oh,
cool.
that's super
I
cool.
wanted to do a bunch of old school, so I did.
How many were there? Which breweries were
I think
there?
there were 7 and 8, including us. So there was Elm City in Keene, New Hampshire, and Flying Goose,
Yep.
Portsmouth. I brewed with Stark up in Manchester.
Yep.
Brewed with Tuckerman's,
Yep.
Woodstock. I'm probably forgetting somebody, but I can't think. But that's about.
That sounds about right, though. Yeah.
Do you have a dream collaboration?
I'd love to go brew up with Todd Modigan up at Tributary.
You should.
Yeah.
Just call him.
I could. I totally could.
Just do it. Just come on. Peer pressure.
I go up there once in a while because my family lives in southern Maine, so it's like driving
cool.
by. It's like, can we stop and see Todd?
Yeah.
Yes, you
Yes, we
can.
can.
Yes, you can.
So the New Hampshire beer scene. Before, I think a lot of people use New Hampshire as a. They use it as an interstate, yes, to go to Vermont.
One place or the other.
One place or another.
Yeah.
Now we have this great opportunity to stop it at other locations. The beer is good at most of the locations that we've gone to. I think people in New Hampshire just take, not that I'm saying Massachusetts, Maine don't take as much pride, but I think because for a long time the reputation is like, I don't know, who cares about New Hampshire beer?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people take pride in what they're putting out right now.
Yeah.
Do you agree or?
Totally agree. Yeah, that was the thing we've talked about in our the Craft Beer Association in New Hampshire. Our neighbors to the east and west have the great reputation for great beer culture, and we're like, well, it's actually pretty good here, and that's part of the thing we've been trying to do is market to our own state.
Yeah.
People in our own state go, hey, you know what? You got now over 100 places you can go to, and it doesn't have to be. You don't have to go get a Sam Adams or beer from Maine or beer from Vermont.
Yeah.
There's stuff right in your own backyard now, and they're everywhere, which is great.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
New Hampshire beer drinker, you think they're more loyal to their local place?
They could be. Yeah, there's some who are. I mean, even the younger drinkers you see now coming out for the New England IPAs. Oh, I live 10 minutes from this is my place.
Yeah.
Which is great. I think New Hampshire just moves a little slower. And that's not a dig. It's just
No,
we're
that's
stuck,
okay.
We're stuck in we're New England Yankees here, just
Yeah,
like anywhere
yeah.
else in northern New England. I'm the same way in certain things. It'll
Stuck
come
in your
around.
ways, but you
Yep.
eventually come around.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
What
I
have
have
I
to.
been missing?
Yeah.
I mean, the beer scene here is certainly better than I'm sure at some places around the country where
Totally.
they're limited by
So
some
many
pre-prohibition
other,
laws, and I know New
Yeah.
Hampshire is too. Like, what are some laws that frustrate you?
Well, the laws are getting better. I mean, for a while it was availability of other beers from other states. Now I don't care as much anymore as I've gotten older. It's not a big deal because you can find good. Like I can go find anything I want in the state and know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
At one time it was we can't get some imports here anymore. I mean, the last 2 years killed that with COVID getting a lot of imports. But I love some good Belgians and some good Canadian beers like Unibrew. It's hard to find those anymore. That's some of it. But things have changed. I remember some years ago I did a collaboration. I can't remember the brewery, but state used to tell us you had to tell us what was in the beer that made the beer. And I think I used, barley, and I used like 5 pounds of table sugar.
Yeah.
And they're like, the beer's 10%. You can't use table sugar, and it's illegal.
Wait, what?
I'm like, why? They're like, well, anything over 6% can't have any other sugars or fruit sugars or anything to make it higher because you're just adding more alcohol. I'm like, well, 9.5% of the alcohol is barley, 0.5% is sugar.
Yeah.
They're like, that's what the law says. It's an old law. So stuff like that.
Oh my gosh.
So over the last 10 years,
Wow.
we've kind of gotten a lot of that
Yeah.
stuff off the books.
Yeah, that's good.
So it's just fun history to remember how it
Yeah.
used to be.
That's crazy though.
Yeah. Speaking about how it used to be, what was kind of the beer that got you into, saying like, I want to do this?
Old Peculiar. I don't know if you remember Old Peculiar.
I
You
don't
can't
think
get
I
it.
do.
You can't get the beer in the United States anymore. It's an English. I don't know. It might be an old ale. It might be an English strong brown ale. I don't know. I used to be able to get it in Massachusetts. In New Hampshire, it was about a 6% beer. Dark brown was just unbelievable. And then, as time went on, I turned 21 right when the craft beer movement started in the early 90s. So, Harpoon IPA, Pete's Wicked Ale, that type of stuff.
You're born at the right time, really. Yeah.
No, it's so funny. So many people bring up Pete's Wicked Ale, and we listened to we did an episode a couple weeks ago, and we asked all the brewers who are in your age group say Pete's Wicked Ale, but nobody's tried to replicate that beer.
No.
Was it actually? I guess my question is, was that beer actually good, or is your memory of it good?
Well, it was good 25 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing about palates changing, right?
Yeah.
Would it be successful today?
Yeah, I don't think it would.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of those early, 90s beers would be. Something like Harpoon IPA is holding on. That's good, but their first beer was Harpoon Ale.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like a pale ale. You haven't seen that in a long time.
No.
Hey, that's a Todd Mott recipe, though. It kind of goes
the Harpoon IPA.
Yeah. All right. So we got a lot more questions, but we have to keep the lights on, and I will save Ryan from the sponsor machine.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. So we won't save the listeners from the sponsors because it's really good content, and you should listen.
Check them out.
Check them out. So take it away, sound guy, Ryan.
Are you a solo artist, band, podcaster, or anyone else who needs recording services?
Well, we got a place for you where your vision can become a reality.
Welcome to Small Pond Studios, built by hand with heart and sweat equity by musicians for musicians.
Go to smallpondstudios.io to reach out to get more information. And make sure you let them know that Brew sent you. Hey, Sound Guy Ryan here. Didn't know if you heard, but we're a part of the Hopped Up Network. There you'll find other informative podcasts about beer. So go ahead, follow them on social media, and visit them on their website, hoppedupnetwork.com, to learn more about the people, beer, and breweries from around the country. And until next time, thanks for listening. Cheers.
All right. So what is the future for Martha's Exchange? What do you see happening?
Good question. I don't know. I'm just going to keep brewing and making fun stuff myself. I mean, I'm getting older too. I'm in my 50s now. Ooh, just turned 50 last year.
Ouch.
But
I mean, the world's your oyster.
yes, exactly. I thought for years, oh my God, I'm getting brewer, open your own brewery and do your own thing.
Now you're like, I don't care.
Yeah, I kept seeing the headaches that the owner here has to deal with.
Right,
and all the crap.
right.
I'm like, I don't want to do that. I want to make beer. I don't want to do all the paperwork.
Yeah.
People.
No.
I do enough of it here because he puts a lot on my shoulders for the brewery, which he's happy about. He doesn't have to think about it. But yeah,
No.
I don't think I want to.
Don't need the extra stuff.
No.
Sound guy Ryan, you look like you're chomping at the bits to ask a question, just like holding the mic.
Yeah, I'm just holding the microphone.
I think Ryan's
It's just comfortable.
got great personality here. I really. You should talk more in this thing. I don't know what they're blocking you out.
No, it's fine. You put me on the spot. So usually, I'll have a fucking question, and then now I don't.
This is great content.
No, I'll think of a question.
All right.
Come back to me.
We're going to come back to Sound Guy Ryan. But, I mean, having this retrospective, as many years you've been here, where do you see the craft beer movement going? Where do you see it?
I think it's
Can it sustain?
Yeah, I totally think it can sustain. I remember, when I was, like I said, I started drinking good beer at the right time. I turned the right age at the right time. And I remember those days, it was like, craft beer or microbrew was,
microbrew, yeah.
Whatever it was, 4 or 5% of the total beer market in the United States. I'm like, oh, that'd be great if when I'm older, it'll be like 10. Now I think it's like 15. We're like, whoa, we did it.
Yeah.
But the amount of choice you get these days, it's amazing. Yeah, you used to go to a restaurant and you're like, oh, all the macro products, there are variations of 6 or 7 of them. And then it was Sam Adams. You got Sam Adams.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
Harpoon, maybe.
Yeah. And Sam Adams, I'm going to give a shout out. They're still a great freaking brewery. Sam Adams does awesome stuff.
Yeah.
I don't care that, a lot of people don't think so, but, have a Sam Adams lager once in a while and you remember why you
It's a go-to.
Yeah.
If I see them on and I don't really know what else is on there, I'll go for Sam Adams.
Right.
Yeah. Boston Lager, for sure.
Yep. So yeah, I think that where it's going, it's going to keep finding new avenues.
New ways
right
to
now
grow.
it's New England IPA. Mm-hmm. And
Are you fearful of the seltzers?
No, I think that's already going away.
You do? Why?
I've already heard little rumblings, read some things. Yeah, it's not going to disappear.
Okay.
But
you
I
think
don't think it's going to go much higher, I guess. But maybe I can be completely wrong. I'm no expert on
see
seltzers.
more and more breweries, craft breweries doing it.
I have talked to a couple of breweries in this state who did one, and
Not going to do it again.
it didn't sell.
Interesting.
Apparently, draft seltzer wasn't a thing, but if you had a
Interesting.
can of it, it worked. So
That's why 603.
yeah.
Yeah.
That actually makes sense because the idea was that you could bring it to places. It's like a beach beer or a beach drink, I should say, not beer. But yeah,
That's the thing for me. I'm again a classic. I'm a brewer. I
Yeah.
make beer. And don't mix water and sugar.
Extract.
it doesn't seem like you need that here though.
No. No, we have seltzers for people who don't want beer. That's fine.
Yeah,
Drink it. We take all kinds. I don't care. That's why we have a full liquor license.
I was about to
I'm
say
fine with
you
that.
have full liquor license here,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yeah,
You know,
so-
I'd rather you come here and sit down and have something to eat and have a drink. And if you have one of my beers, that's even better.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's lucky you have the restaurant side and
Right.
you have the bar side, and that helps keep the lights on.
Right.
No doubt.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
But the whole industry as a whole, you see seltzer sales going down for the.
I think it will eventually. I mean, they tried to bring Zima back. That didn't work. And Zima really, to me, is the original seltzer.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh my God, that like bottle. I can feel it in my hand. How gross. I know. It's like it has some ridges on it. It's
it was weird.
Yeah, give Coors the innovation award for doing it,
Yeah.
and they were just
Yeah.
kind of ahead of their time. But I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, it's now there's I think there's one that's like flat alcohol water stuff out there. It's not.
Oh, they're doing like the hopped tea.
Hop
it?
tea.
I
Yeah,
don't-
there's obviously non-alcoholic.
Yeah,
beer.
NA is a big thing. Any interest in doing any NA stuff here?
I don't really have the ability to do it. Again, with systems.
Yeah, it's a weird. I don't know how you would do that on a normal system. But
And I don't have personal interest, so I don't know if I'd be able to make one that I would be proud of and think would be good enough because I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
some down the line if there's enough interest, but I haven't heard one interest in it yet.
So now you've said a couple times like beer that you want to drink.
Yeah.
So what are your styles? What do you gravitate towards, and how do you make it your spin? What's your beer?
You know what? Sometimes it's just trying to make a classic style as classic
Okay.
as possible. Right now, I've been in a lager kick for a number of years.
Us
So-
too.
Yeah. So I love. I'm almost out of my lager season because the way our system works, I can't do lagers in the summer. I'm kind of like the old Germans. I can't.
Yeah, that's
I
pretty
can't-
cool
I
though.
can't-
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the chilling equipment to chill down
Yeah.
the beer to the right temp once it gets warm. So that's why we did Oktoberfest today, and I'm going to do a summer bock in another week or so, and then that's
Awesome.
about it.
Yeah.
Until the fall.
Yeah.
But I like doing that. I like having fun with, making that corn lager I'd never made before.
Right,
I'm like,
right.
well, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do to make it. I know I'm doing a
That's
mess
all
of
right.
corn,
Yeah.
and I know I want it to be this and this and this. All right, let's make it.
Yeah.
Let's try that.
Yeah. So clean classic styles are kind of
Overall,
your
yeah,
thing.
Yeah. I'm not going to do a fruited sour that's chunky in the glass because I think you kind of, to me, I guess you kind of lose the beer part of it.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
So, we have a kettle sour on, and it's blueberry and lemon, but it's actually a pretty clear beer, and that's just because
Nice.
we didn't want it to gum up our work. So
Right, yeah, literally,
I'd rather
right?
see it and it still have
Yeah.
the beer behind it. I like a balance of flavors.
You want a beer with flavor, kind of.
So
Yeah.
true to style, or do you hate that term?
No, I'm okay with that. I mean, some of them I want to be as true to style as possible. Other times it's just everybody has their own creative slant. There's thousands of.
Yeah.
Does everyone have their own interpretation of true to style, though, too?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Totally.
Sound guy Ryan, did we give you enough time to?
I mean, I'll ask an oldie but a goodie.
Oldie but a goodie.
Yeah, oldie but a goodie. What do you want to learn more about?
That's a good question. Is right.
That's why it's an oldie but a goodie.
I don't know how to answer that. No, I'm just kidding.
This is what we call deflecting, to think about it.
Yeah. Right.
No, I just want to keep I've been doing it for 20 years and I'm still learning stuff. I actually just went and took my first official brewing course last fall.
Dang.
Never took one.
Congrats.
It was all, I got a scholarship through the Master Brewers Association I've been
Awesome.
a part of because I've never had any, actual book learning school.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all
Hands-on and practical.
hands-on and practical, talking to other brewers, going to Master Brewers meetings, which used to have lectures and conferences and learning stuff.
Yep.
And I'm like, well, I've never done this. Let's see. And then turned out I knew a lot more than I thought I knew, which is good.
That's
but
awesome.
I learned a hell of a lot more.
Right.
So I want to keep learning about just the intricacies of brewing and make a better glass of beer tomorrow than I did today.
Do you think that
Love it.
education is missing in a lot of breweries that are opening today?
I think it has in some ways. It depends on the place. There's some brewers that, it was tough to see, even though I did it too. I was a home brewer who turned professional,
Right,
but I
right.
learned from professionals first, and there were so many brewers who, my family and my friends, they love my home brew. I'm opening this brewery. I'm like, man, I wish I had deep pockets so I could say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've had people opening brewery come in and ask me to consult or whatever. And what's your advice? Hire somebody who knows what they're doing in the brewery.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be the brewer. Okay.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And luckily some places have done great, and I'm
Yeah.
glad.
Yeah.
And there's other places where I've seen that, and they've come out of the gate smashing it and been awesome. So it's good. I'd rather, especially now with so many breweries, you got to come out of the gate with good beer. You can't learn your way through for 6 months to a year like.
I agree.
You know,
Unfortunately,
even
that's
yours
just
truly.
the way it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sometimes I think the beer drinker today is obviously
It's
smarter,
almost too
but-
smart for
Right.
the britches.
smart enough to be a critic though too, which is always sometimes
Yeah.
not
Well,
best
social
thing.
media and the way
Yeah.
the world is now, it's so easy to be like, oh, well, they just opened, the beer was crap. Well, they just opened, they're just learning their system,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can do that as a person, and so it's tough. It's a
Well, in the 90s, early 2000s, I mean, when someone opened a brewery, it's like, is that even legal to do?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like,
In some states it wasn't.
right,
Right.
right.
But there was some sketchy beers in
I'm
the
sure.
90s too.
yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
So we want to get our listeners to Martha's Exchange. Where are you physically located, and where can we find you on the internet?
We are at 185 Main Street in downtown Nashua. And on Facebook, it's Martha's Exchange Restaurant and Brewing Company. And I think Instagram, it's the same thing. Marthas-exchange.com is the website. It's a underscore.
Yeah.
Whatever you want
Yeah.
to call it.
Just look it up on Google.
Yeah,
You'll find
you'll,
it.
you'll find it.
We're
Yeah.
there.
It's honestly pretty easy to find. It's kind of right in the main drag.
Yeah, it is.
And you can get food, you can get a variety of drinks, not just beer,
Yep.
and candy.
Candy.
You still have candy
I still
here.
have
so-
candy.
Yeah, I forgot about the candy.
Totally. Yeah.
Well, Greg, thanks for doing this today.
Oh, this has been great.
Yeah.
I
Awesome.
really enjoyed talking to you.
Yeah,
guys.
I'm
Perfect.
glad.
That's
It's
the
always,
goal.
Yeah, it's always cool to kind of get that global perspective. You've been in the industry for a while, so a lot of times we talk to newer brewers, and they know as far back as right out of college, which might have been 10 years ago, 5 years ago, so on and so forth. So, thank you for educating us and our listeners this
You're
week.
welcome. Hopefully
Yeah.
they did.
Yeah,
Come see us. Come have a beer.
Yeah.
will do.
All right, so Brew Roots listeners, we have a bunch of cool episodes coming up later this month and in May. So
Dun, dun, dun.
look out on our social media at Brew Roots on everything to find out who's coming up next, and even drop us a DM to who you'd like to see, because guess what? The internet works, and we can do some.
If you want someone, we'll get them on.
Well, except for
Well, yeah.
except for
Hold on.
We're gonna try real hard.
there's some. We will not name the brewery, but there are some breweries who do not do podcasts.
We've tried.
We've tried.
Promise.
We love you all. Cheers.
Hi.
Cheers.